Hi, my name is Natalia Petushkina and this is my midterm exam. I choose chapter number 3. In my opinion, what is the most useful piece of information from this chapter? This chapter introduces a specific anxiety reduction technique that speaker can use to minimize their tensions and maximize their speaking experience. So first, what is anxiety mean? Anxiety is a state of discomfort caused by uncertainty and fear of outcome an event. So first step to managing the speech anxiety is to identify what makes you anxious. It could be, for example, a lack of positive experience, or feeling different, or being the center of attentions. Pinpoint the onset of anxiety. The second step to managing speech anxiety is to use strategy to build your confidence. For example, prepare and practice, modify thoughts and attitudes, visualize success, activate the relations response, briefly meditate, use stress breathing control, use movements to minimize anxiety. And the third steps to managing speech anxiety is to learn from feedbacks. Speech evaluations helps to identify ways to improve what you do. For example, it could be speech evaluations or audience feedbacks. As we can see, fear of public is the second common phobia after fear of death. Surprisingly, 95% of people are afraid to speak in front of the audience. Therefore, no one expects you to be perfect in oratory. When summarizing all these aspects, remember that speaking can and should be your pleasant activity. Chapter number 5. What step can you take to become a more active listener? More than other communication act, we listen. Many assume that listening is a natural act. However, listening is intentional actions. Active listening is a skill that you can cultivate. For instance, setting listening goals, listening for main ideas, or use critical thinking strategy will help you to become a more adept listener. Steps to become a more active listener. First, set listening goals. To set listening goals, first you need to identify your listening needs. Second, identify why listening will help you. And third, make an action statement and access goal achievement. Second, listen for main idea. You can use two strategies. Listen for introductions, transitions, and conclusion to alert you to the main points. Take notes on the speaker's main points, for example, bullet, column, and outline. Watch for speakers' non-verbal cues and try to detect speakers' organization's pattern. As a result, to improve your listening skills, you need to practice active listening. In order to do this, you must pay attention to other person carefully and let the other know that you are listening to what they are saying. To practice listening technique, use your body language, gestures, and respond appropriately. Chapter 14. Why it is important to challenge your audience to respond to the speech. As a speaker, it is vital to get a personal connection with your audience. Engage audience means get them involved, get them to listen. For example, in informative speech, the speakers challenge their audience members to use what they have learned in the way that benefit them. In perceived speech, the challenge usually comes in a form to act to action. The speaker challenge listener to act in response to the speech, to see problem in a new way, or change their beliefs and attitudes about this problem. Have you ever wondered how to interest the audience during the speech? Here are some examples. You can tell them a story, or you can share your personal experience. Maybe you can show them a compelling visual image, or offer a humorous observations or anecdote. So, to sum up, your presentation will be more rewarding when you think about your audience. It is important to remember that you need to work with people. They need to be involved in your process. Communicate, conduct a dialogue, be interested in their opinion. If you take a few simple steps, they will not keep you waiting with a response. The main thing is to be open to contact and strive for a mutual understanding. Thank you for listening my answers.